George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
George, your appraiser is so jacked up. He's only giving me $25 a square foot for my finished basement. How in the heck does anyone justify that? Well, that's a great question that we get a lot of times, and thanks for coming into thecreditjungle.com today. This is George Anderson, and we're going to be talking about this concept again of GLA, gross living area, which does not include a basement. But the thing you need to remember about this before I start digging into an appraisal that we're going to pull up as an example is that it really doesn't matter which standard by which you're being measured as long as everyone else is being measured by the same standard. Okay, so the appraisal guidelines are uniform. So the adjustment per foot that we're going to be talking about is $15 a square foot for unfinished basement, $25 a square foot for finished basement. Now I have a link down in the bottom that talks a little bit about how these GLA footages are compared, how they arrive at this formula, and then a link also to the appraisal standards so that if somebody really wants to go in there and read about it, they can, but it really doesn't matter because your neighbor's house, when they sold it, if there was an appraisal done on it, it was the same standards that were used to calculate the value there. So let's go to an appraisal here. And let's find out what we've got. This was a recent appraisal that was done on a property in Salt Lake County, and the subject property is here on this left-hand column going down this way. You'll notice that all these homes are in C2, which is, pretty good condition. It's just one below, basically a new house on there. The other houses were just a little bit newer, but this one's in good shape. And anyway, the gross living area, the GLA here, this is the above grade square footage, was 3,212 square feet. And you can see that the other homes here had comparable, give or take a little bit, square footage on there that was the same. And then we also have a basement here that's total square footage of 1,841 square feet. And then 95% of the basement was finished. So here's where we go. Now, the total square footage of the house, okay, is the total of the GLA 3212 plus the basement 1841. So all I'm going to do here is talk about the basement adjustments so that you can understand how you get these numbers here of minus 21, plus 43,000, plus 40, plus 3, plus 43. So we got a negative and a positive, two positives and two negatives. This is what I wanted to show because it brackets a little bit, which is what underwriters like to see. They don't want to see the comparable sale home, which is this one, be the biggest one or the smallest one. They want to see some that might be a little smaller, some that might be a little bigger, and there's actually other comparables other than the three that I'm showing here that were done for this appraisal. But let's just focus on the basement. The first thing you're going to notice on here is that the adjustments that are made for square footage are based on just what percentage of the basement is finished. It does not matter what the room count is. We've talked about this in another video. If there are 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms versus just one big rec room that's got carpet and sheetrock and electricity on it, okay, if it's 90% finished, it's 90% finished, okay? So let's not get hung up on that. Now that may be appeal to different people depending on the size of their family or what if they wanted to have a rec room. It's just different strokes for different folks. So, but the measuring stick that is being applied here is uniform, and that's the important part to understand. So if you look at this basement here had 1,981 square feet versus this one having 1,841. This one is completely unfinished. No finish in the basement here at all, but it's a larger home. So there's 140 more square feet. And at 15 bucks a foot, that means that you would have to reduce the value of this comparable sale by $2,100 or $15 times 140, the difference in the unfinished square foot, to bring this one down $2,100. Now our comparable over here, we have 1,749 square feet of finished basement. This one has 0 finish. So here we've got 1,749 square feet times 25, which means that we would increase this value of the comparable sale, or we would raise up the sales price of this one by $43,725 to make it equal to the comparable sale over here. So now we go over here to a home that is less square footage, above grade and below grade. We're only going to work on the basement here, but we got 1,630 square feet of totally unfinished basement minus 1,841. Well, that's a difference of 211 square feet. Well, 211 times your $15 a foot for unfinished basement means that just based on square footage alone, there would be a $3,165 adjustment. But for the finished, this one again, $1,749 times 25 bucks a foot is that same $43,725, $43,725. That this house, we'd have to increase the value of this one, $43,000, to make it comparable with the subject property. So now let's go to the last comparable sale. And as far as basement goes, this one was bracketed pretty well because we've got two of them. One that's smaller, we've got a mixture of finished, unfinished. Well, here's one that is a 100% finished basement, okay? And we've got 2,300 square feet. Well, that is 459 square feet more than our subject property. So we would have to bring the value of this one down by the 459 times 15, which is minus 6885, okay, square footage. That's the difference for unfinished. And then this room count here really doesn't matter that we've got bedrooms, bathrooms over here. Okay, this one technically has, you know, one more bathroom, but it's not the room count, it's the square footage. So the finished square foot difference between these two homes is this one has another 551 square feet more than our subject property. 551 times 25 is minus 13,775. In other words, we would have to reduce what the sales price of this one was for the basement in total by about $20,000 to bring it equal to what we have over here for basement finish on this one, which is a slightly smaller basement. So anyway, I don't want to get, I'm just focusing on basement for right now. We can go into appraisals. People have questions about other things. We can certainly do that when you want to have a discussion about it. But hopefully that helps explain a little bit. Again, the 15 bucks a foot, the 25 bucks a foot, I mean, it really doesn't matter what is being used as long as it is the same standard of measurement. And for the appraisers doing conventional loans, it is. So that's the important part to know. So thanks for coming into thecreditjungle.com today. This is George Anderson. Hopefully this helps explain a little bit about the mortgage process, the appraisal process, and helps you get a better understanding of things. But if you have questions that you didn't get here or on some other video, remember you can push button, you can subscribe, and you can get Mortgage Professional. And I would love to answer any questions you have about your unique and personal situation. Have a great day.